Hi, Gemini. Welcome to your February 2021 Astro Update. It's Raina here. Ooh, February. I can't believe we're already going into a second month of 2021. And for you, a good portion of the month, at least over half of the month, is in a fellow air sign, Aquarius, which means that it's a trine. And guess what? There's a lot of trines because there's a lot of Aquarius energy. And so let me review before I talk about the new transits in Aquarius. We already have Mercury retrograding in Aquarius. And this is from January 30th. So it just has begun as February begins. That retrograde. And Mercury is your ruler, so there's an added importance for you, unless you're one of those Geminis who claims that Mercury retrogrades are really great for you. And I've heard, both sides of the coin there, that, some people might say, oh, they affect me more, or I always have wonderful experiences during Mercury retrograde. So in any case, that's happening. And then we also have the sun in Aquarius, but more significantly, because of the longer time that it's going to spend in this ninth house for you, is Jupiter and Saturn. Now, Jupiter rules the ninth house in the universal chart. So Jupiter is at home in the house that it rules. But Saturn is also here. And Saturn has a transit that is close to 3 years, that it hangs out in one house. Of course, we have to also acknowledge that this is a general reading, and most astrologers, I think it's safe to say, use an unequal house system. So each house is not going to be a perfect 30 degrees. And therefore, you might have a very small ninth house, and the planets, even Jupiter and Saturn, might not take the full transit time through that particular house. So there's so many factors that could change this. But these types of readings can give you at least some idea of what is going to transpire at a certain point in your journey, and give you like a broad sense of the influences. And it's very interesting that we have so much going on in Aquarius. But it makes it even better, the fact that, your sun or rising sign is Gemini, because that is going to form angles, and very friendly, the friendliest of angles, called a trine, which is what is called, I would say, the easiest to manifest things, because the energy flow is the most supportive. If you have squares, you can still achieve things when you have kind of like these squares between Aquarius and another sun sign, but it's going to come at the price of having to really push through obstacles. A trine is like it's just flowing, and so. In any case, we're talking about a crowded ninth house. And the ninth house, like I said, is Sagittarius house, Jupiter's house. And this is the house of the higher mind. So it's opposing your third house that you rule, which has to do with mundane knowledge and the media, the news, the local area, and brothers and sisters, and extended family members, neighbors. The ninth house is more foreign travel, faraway places. It's expansive. It's not localized. It's more expansive, worldly, global, university, and God. Doesn't get much more, broad than that, huh? Philosophy. So, because Jupiter and Saturn are here, you might even be studying abroad or lecturing abroad if you are in academia. Because actually, to have Jupiter and Saturn in that ninth house could indicate somebody that is traveling to a foreign country for their job. And with Gemini, it could certainly be in a field that is connected to education, but higher education specifically, at least at this point in your life. On the first of the month, Venus goes into Aquarius. I'm sorry, it's 10:39 at night when I'm recording this, so I'm a little bit punchy. So Venus goes into that sector, and Venus, we think of love, right? And if this is something connected to love, it could be with somebody who is from a foreign country or another race, I guess it could be another religion even, something that is different from you. And the whole point of that is not only the global connection, but also the connection of expansion. Because, going outside your comfort zone or your familiarity, I guess that's your comfort zone, isn't it? And dealing with somebody from a different walk of life, if you will, especially with the fact that it's in Aquarius, because Aquarius deals with people from different walks of life. But in the ninth house, it's just kind of an added emphasis. And this also favors money to go to college or to travel. On the 11th, there's a new moon in this sector at 23 degrees of Aquarius. And so if you have the sun rising around that 23 degree mark in either direction, maybe within a few degrees, maybe 20 to 26 degrees Gemini, this may be specifically, the strongest connection with you in terms of forming a trine and manifesting something new in this area. So maybe a new college course, a new teaching position, a new trip that you're planning, a new belief system. On the 18th, the sun goes into Pisces. So here we have another mutable sign. That's how we know it's going to be in one of the angular houses. In this case, we're looking at the mutable sign before you, so it's the 10th house of career. And the sun here is you in your glory. You may be getting into career matters. This is the time of year when you tend to really, get very ambitious. And if you haven't drawn that connection yet, Gemini, I'm not surprised because you do have Neptune transiting in this house. Ever since, I really should commit this to memory one of these days, either 2011 or 2012. And Neptune will be here until I believe 2026 or something like that. So it's going to be here for several more years. But this can be kind of frustrating for some Geminis, especially I would say if you're middle-aged, whatever that is nowadays. But I'd say especially if you're like between 40 and even those who are going through your second Saturn return, maybe in your late 50s. Like for instance, if you have Saturn in Aquarius, and also those in the past who in the past few years who've had Saturn in Sag and even Scorpio uh, and Capricorn, because this can the 10th house is your career, but it's also your sense of identity, especially in a public sense, and who you are based on your career. And with Pisces, with Neptune here, it can feel Neptune in Pisces in its own sign, no less. It can feel like you don't know who you are anymore, and typically this happens with a midlife crisis, because something occurs which makes the person feel like, maybe they have a setback. Or maybe, with the shutdown, your position was just done away with. And all of a sudden, you don't feel like you have this sense of anchoring in terms of like who you are. And with Gemini, that's always kind of a problem, because you are very changeable as it is. You are a chameleon. And Pisces, your midheaven is a place of being a chameleon as well. Pisces and Gemini are the two chameleons of the zodiac. And it can feel very uncomfortable, but I think Geminis can handle a lot better than other signs, a lot of other signs, because you have a certain flexibility that, probably doesn't make you all that attached to one identity versus another. So perhaps I'm being a little bit melodramatic in stating all of that. But I just wanted to bring up the fact that Neptune is also in this house, hanging out here for years. The fact that you have all this activity in the ninth house could really be good for spiritual endeavors, being that it's the God house. And then given that the sun is in that 10th house and Neptune is there. So for Gemini, the biggest challenge is transcending the need to intellectualize over intellectualize things, and letting go of that, and being able to sink into the not knowing or not proving something, and just kind of absorbing, and letting go of that need to analyze everything. Okay, on the 20th, Mercury turns direct in Aquarius. So, oh yeah, another thing about Mercury retrograding in this ninth house, or I don't even know if I even mentioned what that would mean. I think that can really deal with travel plans. Mercury can be about travel, so we're talking about a house that is associated with global travel. So anything, even documents like passports and things like that, can get sorted out. Any IDs and other documentation. Maybe college transcripts or something like that. But the other thing, too, is if you're somebody who maybe has come from a certain belief system. Now, this can run the gamut. I mean, this could be fundamentalist type of religion to atheism. And you're changing your beliefs. This can be a time of really questioning things, questioning what you've been taught, even in academia, questioning what the teachings have been of anything, whether it's God or some college course. Questioning your major, maybe having a different major, and that kind of changing the direction of your studies. Maybe rethinking, maybe going into graduate school or thinking, do I want to do this? Do I want to get a PhD? Do I want to drop out of my PhD program? On the 25th, Venus goes into that 10th house. That can be good for getting a raise. It can be good for getting in good with the boss, with those people who pull the strings, who are in positions of authority. If you are somebody who's looking for work, it can be good for that as well, where you can come across in a charming way. People want to help you at this time. People who have power want to help you, and that can be very good. And that can also indicate popularity. So on the 27th, we have a full moon at 8 degrees of Virgo. So here's another mutable sign. And this is the other direction. So this is going to be the 4th house of home and family. Actually, those Geminis who are from 0 to 8 degrees of Gemini will likely have this in that 4th house. The rest will have it in the 3rd house. So if you are moving house and letting go of your neighborhood, saying goodbye to neighbors, this could be the majority of you, something ending with the 3rd house. So what I'm trying to say is that maybe you're moving abroad even, and you're letting go of your neighborhood. 3rd house is siblings and extended family members. Full moon can be like cutting ties with somebody. A sibling who is maybe too problematic, that you've tried to work it out and you just can't. Could be understanding them though. Could be like finally seeing what makes them tick, finding out what makes them tick. For the earlier degree Geminis, this is going to fall in the 4th house and be more emotional, be more connected to the past, bringing up the past, your family of origin. Again, just like with the 3rd house, you may be letting go of a parent who you just can't, see eye to eye with. Or also maybe putting yourself in their shoes, understanding them better, and having compassion for them. This could be like selling a home. Moving house, you're selling that home. Maybe it's been on the market and you're finally selling it. But there's some kind of an ending that's related to home or the past. And it's very emotional either way because, you have to let go of this, and this is your home base. Whether it's the home base that you started out in the world, or if it's your current home base. Either one, it's still going to be emotional, right? So anyway, that's what I have for you, Gemini. I hope that you enjoyed this. And if you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.